Okay, Mark. So why don't you tell everyone a bit about yourself, like where you were born and raised to start with?
Well, I was born in Thompson, Manitoba, and at 6 months old, we moved to my parents' hometown of Dalhousie, New Brunswick. Lived there for 10 years, um, and then we moved to Ontario, Southern Ontario, and that kind of became home. Um, it's also around the same time my father died, so yeah, 73. I was 10. Yeah.
You just didn't live in Ontario after you left New Brunswick, though.
Oh no, no, no. I lived in British Columbia, all over Vancouver, Lower Mainland, Port Coquitlam, Port Moody, Horseshoe Bay. That was gorgeous. And I also lived in Alberta for a few years during the boom, which was good and necessary. I needed to do it for work. And yeah, Calgary, the foothills, and I spent some time in Slave Lake too. But yeah, those are the two provinces I lived in outside of Ontario, but primarily southern Ontario.
What brought you out to those places?
Work, carpenter by trade, and it's kind of feast or famine. So you go where the work is. Um, and in Calgary, I was in management. I was a site supervisor, so it was a better income for me. But when the crash happened in 2008, that was the end of any high-paying jobs in Alberta, and then I came home.
What happened after you came home from Alberta?
Um, well, I came back and realized that my mother's health was failing her. She was on dialysis and had been for a number of years. So my sister took my mother in, and then I came home in January of 2009. So in April, I moved in with my sister to help with my mom because the chemicals from dialysis kind of kick-started dementia, which quickly turned into Alzheimer's. And sadly, she passed that year, that September.
I. So, what did you do after your mom passed?
That was kind of a tough stretch. I went from one bad relationship into another. Not wise, but it happens. I tried to do a little bit of work here and there, but I realized things were coming to an end. So my health started to fall apart. So,
Okay, and then it wasn't long after that that you suffered a heart attack.
oh, yeah, yeah. Didn't take long. 2012, 2 days before my birthday, actually. And when I had the heart attack, I was diagnosed. They informed me I was diabetic and had been for 7, 8 years previous to that, which is likely what caused the heart attack. Um, so it was quite the adjustment after the fact.
Yeah, I remember that quite well because you were staying here then, and I actually had to drive you to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah, it was a difficult night. They kind of give us hell for not taking an ambulance, but um, survived it though.
Yeah, so you ended up in the hospital with a heart attack, and then what happens the next day?
Uh, they ended up putting a stent in for one of my blocked arteries.
But you had more problems with just your heart and diabetes. Not that it's enough already.
Yeah. Uh, let's see, how did that work out? I've had problems with my health and knee surgeries, and They operated on me when I was 14. On my left knee, they rebuilt it with a surgery that was designed for an adult, and it created all these deformities in my leg as I grew. So they had surgery after surgery trying to fix the mistake. I had a couple of reconstructions, eventually a total knee replacement. And all those years of limping, I ended up with a bad back that consisted of spinal stenosis of the neck, deteriorating disc disease. I have several bulged and herniated discs, all from limping differently. Every time you have a surgery, it alters how you walk, your gait. So it really affected my back in a bad way.
And I understand you also have osteoarthritis as well.
Oh, horrible. Yep, sadly. It started as juvenile arthritis, and it's kind of eating me from the inside out. Yeah, even had a surgery on my hand. They had to remove a bone and replace it with tendons because there was just so much arthritis they couldn't deal with it.
So, with your health problems and your constant pain and the inability to physically continue with your carpentry career, what led you to writing?
Well, it was the fact that I couldn't do my job anymore as a carpenter, and I couldn't do it in a supervising capacity anymore because of the heart attack. The stress from the job was too much. So I was basically told by the doctors and surgeons that I was disabled, but even though I'm limited, I don't consider it a disability. I'm just limited. So I started writing with some urgency because it was my only option to earn a living.
Okay, but the silver lining is you were able to use your talents as a writer and publish 2 books of a trilogy. You must be proud of that.
I am. Yep. It was a lot of work, and it was difficult putting myself out there, but for the most part, yeah, I have to say it was a pretty decent accomplishment.